1, 2.
Oh, you're coming in loud and clear.
We're on the ones and twos, y'all. Let's do this.
All right. Welcome back to the Samantha Show. I'm your host, Samantha. You can call me Sam. Just don't call me Sammy.
Nope.
All right. I'm here with Bassey. Enter last name.
No, you got to say it.
Okay.
You got to at least try.
All right. Eno-Idem. It's the second part. Eno-Idem.
There we go. Not quite, but I love to see the effort, right? Always like to have people go and do the effort. All right.
Okay.
So step 2, pretend like the hyphen isn't there. And
Okay.
try again.
Eno-Idem.
Yes. You got it. 1,000%. That's literally it.
With the hyphen, it hit.
You just take out that hyphen, and then it just comes together all just in one piece.
It is Eno-Idem?
Eno-Idem. I kid you not.
Oh my God.
You can go
It's
back,
way
you can go
easier than I thought.
Go ask my kids. My kids will say the exact same way you just did just now. So you got it.
Okay.
Way to go, Sam.
All right.
Just don't call her Sammy.
Just
you know,
don't
I
call her
catch
Sam.
myself so often wanting to, and I'm like, no, don't do that.
Don't do
No,
that.
won't do that. All right.
Well, I'm here with Bassey. He is the owner. Him and Jess, his wife, are the owner of Shred 415 in Redbank. It's my latest obsession, and now I'm an instructor here.
Hopefully forever obsession.
I know it
That's my
is
goal.
really.
Right.
Look, just stick around, and I'm here. Like I'm not going anywhere.
All right,
like I'm
great,
here for
great.
the long haul.
Hey, my landlord's got us on a 10-year lease, so I am here for at least another 6 years.
That's
so
fair.
we ain't going nowhere.
That's good. That's
all right?
good. All right. Well, Bassey and I have not only a connection through Shred, but through type 1 diabetes, and it's National Diabetes Awareness Month. So I want to talk about that. But before we get into it, I start every show with the 3 things that people need to know.
Yes.
And as a guest, you get to share with us what you think we need to know. And so, number 1, what's the first thing that people need to know?
First thing you need to know is, now I got to think of this. Right. All right. So first one, sleep is a superpower. I think it's one of those things that I've really been leaning into over the past 3 or 4 months. Now, have I been as consistent with it as I want to be? No, but I've recognized the value of having just a good night's sleep and how that sets me up for the next day, right?
Yes.
Your day is not starting when you wake up. Your day starts with what you're doing the night before, which has led to lots of different things that my wife and I are doing differently in the household. One of them is that we've removed alcohol, at least mostly Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Allows me to sleep just that much better. You wake up that much more refreshed.
I believe that. And
Right.
I love that too. I'm really big on like my bedtime routine,
Yes.
shutting down, technology goes
Right.
off. Like there has to
Yes.
be the cool down period
Right.
before bed too.
Right? Yes.
I think
I
that's
have
a
not
good
gotten there yet, but that's next on my list.
That's
That's
next
next
on
on
the
my
list.
list, right? Yes.
Awesome.
I've got this stack of books that I'm supposed to be reading every night by 9:30,
Oh.
but anyway, Rome wasn't built in a day. We got to take one step at a time, right?
Exactly.
One step at a time, right?
What's the second thing?
Number 2 is your self-beliefs, right, are going to be your true limiting factors of what you're capable of doing in life, right? So some of us have been pre-programmed and pre-wired from life that this is the way that we're supposed to operate, or this is the type of what love is supposed to look like. And it may or may not be the right thing for you. And so it comes down to just having the awareness of saying, okay, is that truly true, or is that just a pre-program that I've been programmed with some type of experience? Because you can reprogram, you can rewrite, right? It's not easy, it's hard, but those true beliefs that you're talking and saying to yourself truly come to fruition. So if you speak positive out there about yourself, guess what's going to happen?
Positive things.
Some positive stuff.
Me
I
and
was gonna
my-
say a bad word, but I'll try to refrain from that.
Typically a family-friendly
Yep,
show.
yep. Positive stuff.
But,
Positive stuff.
My husband brought up PMA, positive mindset attitude.
Yes.
I've never heard of that. Have you
No,
heard of
I have
that?
not.
Like
No,
initial,
that's a
now I
first.
use it.
Right, now I'm gonna use it.
I know.
Right.
It's your PMA. What's your
Right.
PM today? It's your
Right.
positive mindset
Yes.
attitude for the day.
Yes.
So
Absolutely,
I like that.
yeah.
I like
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
All right. What's the third thing that people need to know?
Third thing they need to know, every day's a gift.
Yeah.
It's probably the best one.
Yeah.
So remind ourselves, it may not be perfect. Every day's not going to be perfect. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. Sam was kind enough to hold off as I was having this pep talk with one of my good friends here. And him and I, we connect at least a couple times a week, and we hype each other up. And we can tell just when we say hello on each person's side, we know exactly where that person is. And so as much as many people engage and see me on the mic and we're excited and we're energized, we've got plenty of opportunities and chances where we're down. But you have to remember that every day is a gift. And 2, I'm going to add on a 4th, surround yourself with the people that are going to be your hype person when you are down. Absolutely.
I love that. I want to start our conversation a little bit around the type 1 diabetes connection,
Yes.
because it is a National Diabetes Awareness Month, and we have this connection. So you don't have type 1 diabetes,
No.
but tell me how type 1 diabetes has shown up in your life.
Wow. shown up in a number of different ways. The most recent one was the connection with you, which has been just, honestly, it's made something that I have found a way to find joy in just that much more fun. And just being able, even with inside of our studios, just seeing people that are actively living with type 1 diabetes and knowing that Shred 415 has been able to be a tool that they've been able to use, as we, myself and my wife, has had it our goal for this to be a healthy space for movement. And for type 1 diabetic, it may look just a little bit different, but to the point that we can support and that we know, again, as you know, Sam, we got our great little applesauces sitting behind the counter.
Yes,
So just in case, right? Just in case something happened, our team is here to support you any way that we can. Going back to the start, my younger brother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I want to say he was like 4 or 6 years old. And I still can, I can close my eyes and I can see this picture of him sitting on a hospital bed. He just looked frail and not well composed. I remember when he got diagnosed, he was trying to put on his sweater as his pair of pants. Right. And so what we didn't know at that point in time, he was having a low blood sugar event, and you don't necessarily operate the way that you want to at that point in time. So he grew up in the days of the R and the N with the needles, having the jab and pricking themselves. For those that don't know, it's a process. It is absolutely a process to live with type 1 diabetes that you may not always see out in real life. And I think it was a lot harder then. It's gotten easier now. We've got a lot more tools. But finally, my brother was able to get a lot of those particular tools themselves. But unfortunately, he ended up passing away due to complications of type 1 diabetes in 2014. And I made a conscious decision upon his passing as to how do we make sure that we remember him? How do we remember him and support this organization, be it JDRF now, Breakthrough T1D, to help raise awareness. My brother was never one to want to talk about it. We're always like, dude, you got to tell your coworkers, you got to tell people that are close by, because if something happens, they can know what to do, or they're not going to make an assumption like he's just being slap happy. No, he's not being slap happy. That's him having a low blood sugar event that you need to go and intervene and do something. So he's never one that wanted to have those open conversations. But with his passing, it was one of the things I was like, you know what, I can take up and be the voice for him and support this amazing organization that's turned from me running my second half marathon and raising $1,200 that year in 2015 for the Flying Pig, to the most recent one we just finished in May of this year, which was our 10th year that I've ran the Flying Pig in my brother's memory, and we ended up raising $50,500.
It's amazing. It's unreal. It's unreal. And so I want to go back just a little bit as a sibling to someone who has type 1 diabetes, because I talked to my mom, so I got a parent perspective.
Right,
I've shared my story. When your brother got diagnosed and came home and you guys are settling into your new life, did your life change in the sense, did like the food you guys have at home change, or did everybody start adjusting their eating, or do you remember just more of him having to adjust?
I remember more him adjusting because of the shots.
Yeah.
I would say that we didn't know enough about the types of food and and there were some adjustments in terms of the carbs and the sugars and stuff like that. So yes, he always had to have the really crappy lollipops that were sugar free, right? You're like, oh, these are absolutely horrible.
But they didn't force those on you too.
I wasn't forced on them too at the same point in time. But I think the bigger challenge that as I look back on now, and again, my brother was very headstrong and always wanted to do things his own way. And I always say that he ended up passing away because he wanted to continue to live the life without diabetes, right? And not truly make some of the changes that were necessary. Now, again, if you met my brother, he was built like an ox. He could literally arm wrestle anybody, including myself, down to the ground. But he also wanted to live and be a 20-year-old, right? And so he wanted to go out and party and go out and drink and maybe not eat so well and some of these other things. And unfortunately, when you have type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't respond to some of those things as well as a healthy person's does. And so unfortunately, we found out after his autopsy that his heart was enlarged, his kidney was in failure, his liver disease, all these other things, where it was all just starting to break apart because he wasn't doing some of the things that he should have been as a T1D versus trying to live out his fullest life, which we joke is he literally lived out. He literally lived out the best life that he possibly could. Good. He did.
When I was talking to a friend, I talked to a friend on a previous episode, especially during like that high school, college age, like it's really hard. And we were reflecting on our own because you don't like, you want to just go out with your friends. You want to do this.
Yes.
You don't want to be worrying about this, and you're thinking about the numbers all day long. And we were talking about diabetes burnout, which is a real thing where you're like, it's easier to not think about it.
Not do it.
I don't want to see the numbers because it freaks me out. It's anxiety. I'm just not going to think about it.
Yeah.
And it's like really common, I feel, especially for those of us who are diagnosed young, when we get into those adolescent years, teenage years, college years, to be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Absolutely.
I'm done. And so, we kind of trail off, and the hope is we can get back on track as we get older, but it's definitely challenging. So I love though that you took then this situation and turned it into something positive in your way to give back, and you have done that in such a wonderful way. There's some connection here to Shred 415 around some of this, right? So talk to me now a little bit about you guys starting this business and what that looked like, which posed its own challenges, which we were connecting about before.
Come along with it. So when Shred 415 came into our life, it actually was introduced to my wife first. So this is when we're living in St. Louis. My job had moved us out there, I want to say 2011, 2012. And my wife was getting ready to open up Lululemon's second studio or second store location in St. Louis. And as she was getting ready to open that one, Shred 415 had already started in Chicago, and they're opening their first location outside of Chicago in St. Louis. So my wife had actually met the studio manager that was starting to operate. If you know Lululemon, if you know Shred 415, it's like goes together like peanut butter and jelly, right? Yeah. And so she got to know that studio manager. She absolutely fell in love with that particular studio and that workout format. And that was around the same time that I was getting ready to train for my first half marathon, which was part of another joke for my brother and I, where him and I were supposed to run a half marathon together, which is why I now go and run all these together. So I ran my first half marathon in the goals of beating my brother's time, which I ended up beating, right? Which is awesome. Again, a little bit of background story on that one, sidebar. But my brother had ran a half marathon, and I was at that point in time, as we talked earlier about mindset, I was not in the mindset of doing long distance thing. It was hard. It was uncomfortable. Didn't want to think about doing them. My brother ran a half marathon. He crushed it. He finished it in like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Amazing. My goal was to beat his time. So that's when my wife said, okay, let's run a half marathon with me. Let's do this in St. Louis. So we went out there and we ran it. She was using Shred 415 as part of her training to actually go through and complete it. And she ended up getting a PR on her half marathon by like 10 minutes because of using Shred. Yeah. I did my first one. It was 1 hour and 47 minutes. I demolished my brother's time and I made sure that he knew it. Yeah. And so the goal was to actually run half marathons together, me and my brother, after that point in time. Unfortunately, he passed away before we could do just that. Anyway, so back to the original question. So we were introduced to Shred 415 there. I had never actually done a workout while we were in St. Louis. We eventually moved back to Cincinnati. My wife was really sad because she had built such a great community there. Yeah. And she's like, there's nothing here. I was like, well, go find. And I named another fitness studio. And she's like, it's not the same. I was like, okay. I didn't understand. Well, my friend that was actually just on the phone with just outside a second ago, he called me up. He said, hey, Bassey, you know, we're talking about family and legacy. He came and ran the Flying Pig with me in 2018, I want to say it was. And we're talking about opening our own businesses and stuff like that. We just didn't know what it was going to be. And so he reaches out to me, calls me, and says, hey, Bassey, here's Shred 415's franchising. I was like, stop it. I was like, okay. I jump online. I kid you not, submit our application by that Sunday. Within 2 weeks, we're in Chicago meeting with the actual owners of Shred 415. Yeah. And I took my first class, and we essentially signed on the dotted line to get ready to open up our own location here. But why it ended up working, there was lots of back and forth conversations with my wife up to that point in time. But why it happened was, my wife and I had written out our 10-year vision and goals as a married couple. Mm-hmm. And this vision and goals writing was probably about 5 years after my brother had passed. And one of the things that we constantly challenge ourselves on is we can be gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We can miss out on so many great things because it makes us feel uncomfortable, or it's outside of our comfort zone, or it doesn't look like the normal path for which we are supposed to go down. And with my brother's passing, I realized, like, we got a limited amount of time. We got to start saying yes. Now, don't say yes to everything, right? Be specific on some things that you're going to say yes to that are going to support you in some long-term goals. And so that's why when Shred, my friend, called me up and he said, hey, Shred is franchising, I said, you know what? This fits within inside that 10-year goal. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but we can give back to community. We can support ourselves to find healthy lives, and we can support others. It's like, let's go on and do it. And so we jumped on in. I'm not going to say we never looked back and be like, wait, what were we thinking? Like, this is so hard. But as you've experienced, Sam, and you come into the space, it is truly just a special place with special people with so many different stories. And all of them are using this fitness facility in a way of what Jess and I had envisioned. And actually even more so. When we first started, I thought people were just going to come and work out here just to get fit, to be able to run faster,
right.
A more physical well-being. During COVID, we've realized really quickly that there is a mental space that people are able to use this space for. And I'm just like, this is the greatest gift we can give to our community here for people to be engaged in it. So so it came out of a position of not wanting to be afraid and jump on in and say yes to scary things. And again, not saying that we're all perfect or that we're never going to be afraid of anything, but test the limits, right? Try to push outside those boundaries, and you will be pleasantly surprised on what you're able to do, especially if you're willing to bring other people in to help support you in delivering on just that.
Absolutely. And, I think one of the other big things that this space does is offers that community to support you in those moments where you get a little uncomfortable. You go outside that comfort zone, and maybe we're doing the workout in the room, but you feel that empowerment to then take that when you leave and go be superhuman out there. And that's like the secret sauce that you just don't get everywhere.
You got it.
And it's created really, truly from you and Jess. Anybody can open up 4 walls and have people run on a treadmill and lift weights.
Right.
But the magic that you create is brought in by the people who are in this space and create that magic.
And I like to describe it as, because we got a team of 23 people, right, that help make this happen. Jess and I were the kindling that started the fire, but we've got the team and the community that keep that fire going every single day. Now, we're still here, blowing it here, blowing it there, but the fuel is really coming from the people on our team and the community around here that keeps that fire going.
So you guys take this big plunge. You're like, all right, we're in. This is it. Let's get uncomfortable.
Yes.
Give me the year and the timeline on this, because I know we faced a big challenge.
Yeah. So we said 2018. 2018, we signed the franchise documents in Chicago. We got it up there. We started telling a small group of friends, like, hey, here's what we're doing. We had some people say, y'all are crazy. Then we had other people say, y'all are absolutely perfect for doing this. This is going to be amazing. Such a great gift to the community. And there was quite a few people in our community here in Cincinnati that actually had spent time in Chicago. So they knew about the brand. They were really excited that it was going to be coming on in. So all of 2018, we tried to find a space. We couldn't find anything at all. And then we ended up having our son in February 2019. We finally did find a space in November of 2019. So that's when we found this space here. It just took us almost a year of looking at another place, just trying to find the right spot. We actually came close to signing one place, actually close to another cycling studio that you may know very well around the corner, and that ended up falling through, and we were so bummed. We were like, no, like this is supposed to be it and everything on Elks. But there's some things about that location that just didn't feel right. A lot of it had to do with parking and what it looks like during the holiday season. So it ended up falling through. We were fine with that. Then this place ends up showing on up, and I want to say that somewhere around November of 2019, we're like, oh my gosh, like I think this is it. So we signed on the line, signed on the lease. We started doing the build out, everything on Elks. Around February, we ended up having one of our last indoor events as part of our hype up marketing thing, just to help build up the community and everything on Elks.
Things are going well. Things are going so well.
So well. We were finally to the point where I convinced my wife. I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job.
Yes.
I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do, we are literally going to be all in on this. And we're going to open up a couple locations here around the city. And then 4 weeks from me quitting my full-time job, COVID hit. So what was that, March? Yeah. It was like St. Patrick's Day, right? Yeah. So I was going to quit 4 weeks after that.
Yeah.
So then COVID hit. And we're like, we're not quitting that job. Nope, not at all. We didn't know. We'd already signed a lease. We'd already started to build out. It was like, are people even going to be working out anymore? Like, the world was completely shut down. Insane. So then we pivoted pretty quickly to doing some online classes. We did it through Zoom. We did some through Zoom, and we did a lot of them through Instagram Live.
Yeah, I did those. Ride my bike in the living room.
Yeah,
my dog in the background.
Go grab a half gallon of milk or a can of tomatoes, right? You can find all these different things that you can go through and do. And it was the coolest thing because we had such a small, intimate group in our team there. We actually were just so close and connected because we couldn't do anything else. So
Right.
you narrowed your group of people that you're hanging out with on a regular basis. And so we just started rallying together. We just say, hey, we're going to make the assumption that we're going to be able to open up here at some point in time. So let's keep the momentum going. Let's continue to engage because people at that moment needed something to hold on to. So I came in here a couple times a week, did recording videos, say, hey, here's what a studio is, right? There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to be able to get on back there. And so then July 11th, 2020, we formally opened up our doors.
That was your first class?
It was our
in
first
person?
class. First time teaching a Shred 415 class to a large group of folks. I've come a long way.
I can't imagine you not delivering anything but a phenomenal class.
So you remember those audition videos?
Yeah.
I got one too. So we can compare notes, and I'll show you what mine looks like. And it was nowhere close as good as yours was. I'll tell you that right now. Because at that point in time, I'd only taken 3 shred classes.
You didn't have...
I didn't have a shred to go to.
Yeah.
Right? I'd only taken 3 shred classes by the time that came around. So we've come a long way. I think I'm at like 259 as of this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we eventually ended up opening up the studio, and we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary just this past July.
Yes.
Just a great team, great clients, and great impact to the community. So it's been a great time.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think in the past 4 years, pandemic aside, has been the hardest part about owning your own business here?
The hardest part, that's a long list. I mean, small business it truly is not for the faint of heart. And there's lots of things that make it hard, but at the same point in time, there's so many things that make it great.
Then what makes it great?
What makes it great is the people.
Absolutely.
It is. Absolutely. It really is. Like when we go through a hard time, whether it's something for the P&L or something breaks technology-wise, or a client canceled their membership because they're moving injured or something else that's out of our control, all of those things, absolutely, they suck. But the thing that always regrounds me is that we still have an amazing team of people that show up every single day to support this community. And we have clients that rely on this space as this healthy space for them to find movement, whether it be physically or clarity mentally inside the space. And that's always my reminder coming back to is like, there's still people showing up. There's still people showing up. Continue to showing up. Now, we'd always love to have more, right? So y'all listen out there. Y'all come on out. Come check it on out. Follow me on Bassey JR on Instagram, and I can get you in a free class. Come check out one of my classes. Come check out Sam here on the mic too.
Yeah.
Good times.
So you're a very magnetic person, very positive person, and I really think that relays into your community. Do you think, have you always been like this, just Mr. Positive, good energy? Do you think life has brought you to this mindset now?
Right.
Talk to me about how, because there's a lot. We talked about this idea of positive mindset. I even talked to my husband about it when he's grumpy. I'm like, you can change the way you think.
Correct.
And but you have to make a conscious decision to do that.
Yes.
So tell me where you get your positive energy from. What fuels you?
So I would say I got lucky in terms of my wiring.
Yeah.
Right? I was just naturally wired to and I'm an Enneagram, am I 7? I'm a 7. Okay. And we're always looking out for positivity, always looking out to say the opportunity is always out there. Yeah. I spend very little time looking behind. So perfect examples, my brother passed away. Right. That's a traumatic life event. And I still cry on a regular basis because I miss him tremendously. But I'm the type of person where I will look at it as like, I would much rather spend my energy remembering him in a positive way than sitting in a corner and just crying. Now, again, everybody's going to take on things in lots of different ways, but I truly believe I've just been wired in a particular way. And again, there's some places where it may not be good. I may not have spent enough time mourning my brother's passing, but I just jumped in really quick and I said, okay, well, what can I control?
Yep. Yeah.
I can't control that. So it's time to go on a pivot. I think the biggest challenge for myself has been, and I've really realized this, especially working with our team and our clients and my partner, my wife inside this business, is that not everybody can make that pivot as quick.
Right.
Not everybody can do it without having to have multiple conversations or trying to understand all the details and everything else. And so it's been a great learning for myself to learn how to slow down, see where other people are. How do I help support? Because they'll eventually get to where I am. Yeah. But it just may not. They may not get there at the same time frame that I will. But yeah, it's truly my pre-wire, and I think a lot of it has to do on how I grew up. I had lots of crappy things happen to me in my lifetime, and I think I just built up a thick skin back then. And I realized like I'm going to die if I spend all my time looking behind me. Yeah. And looking at all this thing happened or this thing happened. No, you gotta pivot a little bit to the other side and find the goodness.
Yeah.
Find the goodness.
Truly. I like that you said you're wired that way. And then, so you've had to learn that not everybody can get to that place as fast. Because that's been big on me because I have a ton of energy, very positive all the time. But realizing that's a little bit of just like my personality, who I am as a person. And having to be patient with other people who are not there right away or need a little more time or more self-reminders, whatever that may be. And just be like, just be happy. Just what do you mean you're not happy? Like, just,
I can't. No, yes.
So I'm going to take a U-turn in the conversation here and talk a little bit more about Shred. Tell me just kind of the basics of the workout.
Yes.
And what the experience is kind of like.
Yeah. So I always start off with there's lots of places that you can go on and find healthy movement. Yeah. Especially in Cincinnati. Especially when we look at Shred 415 as a franchise and where we all operate at the different locations. And we happen to be a HIIT format workout, right? So some people like to have the high intensity interval training. I think the name is sometimes a bit misleading when we say high intensity interval training because yes, you can make this workout high intensity, but you can also make it low intensity in cyberspace, right? So we alternate between treadmill drills and dynamic floor exercises. And we intentionally call them treadmill drills because you can run, right, on the treadmill. You can go and hit that 15 miles an hour if you want to go that fast, which we've had clients go that fast. I'm like, no, that's not quite for me. But you can also walk. Yeah. And I think that's been really something. It probably took me about a year to really starting to really speak to this more intentionally is that some people, when they hear treadmill, they automatically assume that I'm going to have to run. Yeah. So I've actually been more forward to say there's options to walk or run on our treadmills for our HIIT format workouts because when people hear that one, they're like, okay, I can check in as that's a place for me versus, oh, treadmills, they're automatically checking out. And once the second they've checked that out, like it's so hard to try and get them back engaged. So anyway, so Shred 415 stands for 4 15-minute increments. So you alternate between treadmill drills and dynamic floor exercises. I like to describe it as our instructors. We get to create this amazing meal for our clients. We get to pick the music. We get to curate the programming that's specifically happening within inside the class, and we get to bring our own personality inside the particular space, which is what makes us really different versus some other HIIT formats that are going to be here around the city itself. And I think that's truly what makes our space unique. You step into the room is very dimly lit. The music is loud. We got some black lights and some other neon lights happening. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Which those were not always there. Those were not always there. They were not. That was an addition for our 1 year anniversary. Okay. Or our 1 year anniversary. I was like, oh, what can we do to make this 1 year anniversary just a really, really fun time? I was like, oh, let's add these lights. Yeah. And we added the lights and we decided to keep them in there. Right? It's so cool. So, but yeah, it's an amazing workout experience. And I say it's for the family. I could go through a long list of clients that come here and work out with their mom, their fiance, their brothers, their dads, their partners, and then even in the kids lounge that we're sitting in right here, that you can bring your kids in here to, right? It is the best thing.
I gotta mention that. I gotta bring it up because that is something unique that other places or boutique fitness studios are not offering. Right. Is support for a place for the kids.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
Game changer.
Right. And the private MO for this is something that was standard with inside the franchise. But as my wife and I were trying to decide if this was going to be the right thing for us, we knew that this kids on thing made it special because my wife and I, we frequently go and want to work out and we couldn't because one of us had to watch when we had our one child at that point in time. There was one other studio here around the corner that had it and we would frequently go there because it gave us the space. And now watching not just the moms but also the dads. We've got a dad that comes here consistently on Saturday, brings in his son, and he goes on and gets to work out while mom gets her time at home to do whatever she wants, right? So it enables clients to find healthy movement for themselves, but then also for their partners to find space for whatever else they need at the same point in time. And to be honest with you, the dads are smart. They're like, well, if I got the kid here for myself, let me get 1 hour where I can get my workout in and the kid's going to be taken care of at the same point in time. And it's been really cool watching some of our kids. It took a while for the kids lounge to really start taking on when we first opened, because of COVID. Sure. But once it really started taking on, you had moms we had one mom who had given birth to twins. Yeah. And those twins were literally in here in car seats being fed bottles. And now those kids, I want to say, are close to 3.5 years old.
I think they were here today.
They probably were. Right. Yes. They're now 3.5 years old. They're walking. And again, our front desk people that actually support here inside the Kids Lounge, they've watched these kids grow up inside this space at the same point in time. And that's what makes it so cool. So cool for us to be able to add that here as a valuable addition here for the community.
That's amazing. Is there anything else related to Shred, the experience, what you're offering here that we haven't talked about that you feel like people need to know? I just want to give you that last opportunity.
Just come and give it a try.
Yeah.
Just come and give it a try. My MO has always been is Shred may not be for everybody, but you'll never know until you give it a try. And if anything, my goal is always going to be that this will end up serving as a catalyst for you to find healthy movement. So if you find and decide a healthy movement is good inside this community for what we're going to be able to do inside this space, awesome, great. We'll go and do that for you. If not, great. There's other places out there. Continue to go out there and be curious and go and learn everything that you possibly can and go find that healthy movement for them. But yeah, come give it a try.
But once you walk in, you're not walking out.
You're not walking. I mean, Sam came in and she's like, not only am I not walking out, but y'all put me on the mic, y'all.
I said, I'll sit here as long as I have. You want me to be a member for 3 years to prove my loyalty? Sign me up. I'll prepay, but I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere, man. Sam's been knocking it out of the park already. Absolutely love it. Love the
Any
vibes,
words of wisdom in general, parting thoughts that if anybody listening remembered one thing from this episode, what would you want them to take away from this?
Lean into the things that scare you.
There it is.
Right? Lean into them. And having a full recognition is those things that may scare you. Is it really a fear or is it a belief that you have built inside your head? Like mine, I never ran a half marathon because I thought it was stupid, right? It was never because I wanted a challenge. And now I've grown up quite a bit now that I look for challenges now proactively because I know there's this growth thing that's coming on the other side. But yeah, give me all the challenges. Give me the difficult because it's through the difficult is where you get this thing called tension. And it's with that tension that you actually become stronger.
Yes.
You can't become stronger without a little bit of tension. You can't become stronger just by sitting or not reading or putting yourself inside some of these uncomfortable positions. So yeah, so go seek out those things that cause you a little bit of discomfort because there's guaranteed to be some growth for you on the other side.
Boom. That's it. I love it. I love that too.
Drop the mic.
That's awesome.
I drop it, but I don't want to break it.
Well, thank you so much, Bassey Eno-Idem.
There we go.
Boom.
Let's go, Sam.
For joining me on the Samantha Show. Everybody else who's listening, have a great day because you deserve it.